Hello, welcome all. Welcome in another important video. In our previous video, we saw how to use socket programming and how to connect any client to the particular server. So we saw some basic lifecycle methods of socket.io library. We got to know that there are lifecycle methods such as connection and disconnect. That methods gives us the information about if any user or any client connected to the server, that particular event immediately gets fired. Okay, so now here in this video we will move even further and we will try to create some custom events so that we can fire anytime and whenever we want. So let's go inside the client.js file and let's quickly create one variable after we connect to that particular server. So this is the way we connect to our any server and any particular port number. So let's save it in one variable. Let's give it a name server, or let's say socket. That is the best name. Okay, and so we can use this variable for creating an events. So the way of creating an events is nothing but socket dot on, let's say, broadcast. Okay, and if I use it like this, so this is a callback, and inside of callback let's me simply put one console so that this particular event gets fired, we will get log on our console. So let's say broadcast called. Okay, so let's save this and we have to call this particular broadcast once the user connected to our server. So in order to call this particular broadcast or this event, we have to use io, which is nothing but this object, and dot server, or let's say socket dot emit, and we have to use the name of that particular event. So as you can see here, we have give it a name broadcast, so we can use that name for calling it. Okay, so I hope this will work. Let's quickly execute this. So the first thing that I need to do here is I need to create another terminal, or let's say duplicate terminal in our first terminal itself. So, okay, so in this terminal I'm going to execute server file, and in a right side terminal I'm going to execute client side file. So let's quickly do that. So our server is up and running, so we need to execute our client file as well. So we got some error as soon as our client connected, saying that emit is not emit. Okay, it is saying that emit is undefined, so we are doing some mistake here. Let's say server. Okay, so as you can see here, we got message at the client side saying that broadcast called. So that means we successfully able to emit that particular event, and we got that instance here. So now if you want to send any particular data, you can send it like this. So let's say I want to send a parameter. Just forgive me for these spelling mistakes. Anyway, okay, so if you want to send that particular parameter, you can send it as a next parameter in emit function. So let's say, let me give it one parameter saying God is great, which is our tagline. And if I save it and if I re-execute this, okay, before that let me just quickly print this so that we'll get to know that it is received. Okay, and if I execute this, and we need to execute on client side also, so let me. Okay, so as you can see here, we got this particular parameter on client hand side. If you want to send multiple parameters, you just have to add it on the next parameter, and the numbers will keep on growing. There is no limit how many parameters you can add. You can add as much as parameter you want. Also, there is no limit of any particular data type. You can add a JSON object like this. Let's say message is equal to, okay, and if I go here parameter 2, parameter 2 will be available. So if I start it, see, we got this second parameter as well. So with this way you can send and receive data from client side to server side, or server side to client side. So let's see one example from client to server. So let's say server dot on message. I'm declaring one event on server side so that client can call it. So with this way we'll get to know. Let me quickly put one log here. Okay, and on on a client hand side we have to use socket.emit and copy this name. As you can see here, we got our event here. So with this way you can call an event one after the other. So in Socket.js website itself, they have given a nice little documentation about how you can call an events and how you can make use of it. So you just have to go inside socket.io, and on a left hand side scroll you will get to see that events tab. So just go inside of it, and here as you can see they have given a nice little documentation about it. Let's see one by one. So they have segregated the events in three different parts. One is the basic events which we just saw, and there are a few more. So there is another one which name is acknowledgements. Let's see what it means. So it is the same way of declaration of events. So as you can see here, you can declare events like that, but the only thing that is different here is callback. So you can actually send any function as a parameter, and then you can execute that function on server side or client side, depends on where you are declaring that event, so that you can immediately get that response. Okay, so let's see how it works. So let me put one event, let's say socket dot on, and I'm giving it a name ack. Okay, I think that's enough. And I'm expecting parameter as a callback. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to simply execute this parameter. But just to know that this particular function worked, I'm going to pass some value. Okay. And we just have to execute this right here. And we will receive that shared data inside this parameter. So this is the data we are actually trying to share. So this message I will receive over here. So let's see after console. As you can see here, we got immediate response from the client and as a callback. So if you are working on some functionality where you need an immediate response, or maybe you need required confirmation from particular event, so you can use this event. Otherwise, if you just want to call a particular event and you don't care about the response that they are giving, or maybe it is not important, the response is not important, so you can use the normal events which we just saw in our first examples. Okay, so this is the one way. We just covered two different ways. Let me quickly recap this. The basic event, basically nothing but declaring an event and just calling it. It's just a simple way. Acknowledgement event are those events where we can use callbacks and we can call it inside the function. So this is the another way. And let's see the next one, and there is nothing but volatile events, which is same as basic events, but the only difference between volatile event and the basic event is that the syntax for sure, and the functionality difference is when you call any particular event and you don't care about the output of that particular event, then you can use the volatile events. So if you are designing or giving, they have given a really good example here. They have gave us an example of real-time game where let's say you are creating a game, and the position of particular character is depends on that particular real time. If he moves, that particular parameters is of no use. So let's say you are sending that particular parameter, the parameters where that particular spirit is exist, and if you are sending it and due to some lag in the network, your message send is delayed, the character moved to the next position, then that parameters become invalid, so it is of no use. So in that case, you can make use of volatile events, which is sent, and if it is of no use, it never received back. So you can depends on your requirement, you can use this socket volatile event, and if you don't need this, you can simply skip it. So I think that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.